right, guys. Quick shout out here. My MetaFi is home of all the guest primers, all the free tournaments, all the giveaways, and all my personal guides. These guys in front of you are freshly updated over there. You see Issa Tempo, Beanstalk Control, Jeskai Wizards, Eldrazi Aggro, Blue-Eyed Riddler, Dimir Tempo, Affinity, Omniscience. All these and more you find over on my MetaFi. Use code ECO50 for a juicy 50% off your first month as a Book Smart Baron. I can't wait to see you over there. All right, guys, this is going to be a legacy challenge. I'll be playing my deck for 4Seasons, which is just going to be a few days away at the time that you're watching this. I'm going to be traveling to Bologna, Italy. 4Seasons is the best tournament organizer in Europe, and it's not even close, so I can't wait to go there, see some friends, play some sweet Magic. And I'll be playing Dimir in the Legacy main event down there. Dimir is a deck that I've been playing for a while, working on it every week. I favor being a little bit more grindy and going longer these days with hymns and strixes. Let's say the format was demanding that you were faster. I would be looking into cards like Nethergoyf and Moonshadow. Basically, you can build this deck in a million ways, and I do enjoy that. Removal Suite for pushes any Snuff Out. Brazen for catch-all between Chalice, Murktide, Merit Lage. Full set of Bowmasters because I expect to play against blue decks a lot. Kaito, best card in the deck, probably. And then a fatty split of 2 Mercs and a Barragoyf. Of course, the shell is Wasteland, Force, Thoughtseize. Sideboard-wise, it's a little bit more of the same of what I've been doing. I have my 2 Barragoyfs between the 75. You know, the 2 Negations, the 2 Hiders, the 2 Consign, the 2 Brazens. 2 Toxics here, so I can actually reliably find a Sweeper when I need it against, you know, white or green. A couple of Edicts for mainly Kaito, but it's also just a serviceable removal spell. Maybe even get to live the dream and kill like a Kappa Cannoneer or Merit Lage. A couple of Surgicals for Oops and Life from the Loam. And then a single copy of Harbinger. In a perfect world, I'd be running 2, but, you know, Lands is one of those decks where it's a super tough matchup and it could need some help, but it's not that popular, so it's a tough one. I wouldn't fault anybody for playing 0, 1, or 2 Harbingers. So yeah, with all of that said, let's get into the challenge. All right, round 1 of the Legacy Challenge. I will be on the play with Dimir. And I think this player is a Sneak and Show player. But I guess this Thoughtseize will tell us all about that. This hand has a Force of Will and a Thoughtseize and some mana, so can't really say much about that. It's funny because I just recorded with Eureka, who was playing this deck, and we played with open deck lists, so I know that this player is running 2 Flusters and 2 Pierces. Yep. So I think that is a major motivation to cast Thoughtseize early. However, it's a little bit annoying because then the opponent has more, you know, draw steps that are not accounted for. Let's see what this player is holding. Oh, wow. This is not Sneak and Show. This is Oops All Spells. So now the opponent has more or less the best hand I've ever seen. That is a banger of a hand. Okay. So let's see. They have 2 combo pieces, so that doesn't work. They have Land Cabal Therapy, which will name Force Will in a pinch. They have Pact of Negation backup. What is my plan here? To take the Felda Profane and hope they never find black mana? Huh. This is really bad for me, because even if I get my opponent in the dirt here, it's going to take me many, many turns to try and win the game. Which buys the most time? Taking Ritual or taking Felda Profane? What is harder to come by? If I take the Ritual, the opponent needs to draw 3 mana sources. I can draw Wasteland in the meantime. Probably have to take the Ritual. If I take Felda Profane, Let me see. I need to find a random oops list here to consult, because this is going to be a math thing for me. All right. Tough times on game turn 1 of the game here. You love to see it. Oops all spells is running what looks to be 10 black lands. Is that right? 6 black lands, 10 black lands, and some artifact stuff. So it's the starting is going to be easier. The starting mana, dang, that is brutal stuff. So basically now we will have this fun game of I have to, you know, advance. I can't just sit here because my opponent has all the tools they need, and I need a bunch of stuff to, because this pack handles the force, right? So let's see. They're actually going to therapy themselves here. Did my opponent just draw the card Reanimate? Did my opponent just draw the one of Reanimate? That's crazy. Therapy themselves. I don't think my opponent leaves me any choice here. I think I have to force a will, which is absurd. I think my opponent just drew Reanimate. Okay. Well, because that's the only card where this makes sense, right? This is already mind-boggling. Him to Torok. Well, the problem with that card is if I leave or animate, I'm just gonna get cooked. Yeah, this is this is a crazy game. I can only win if my opponent stalls on mana. That's crazy. All right, Tamiyo is a solid card. Let's play out a fetch land for future brainstorm purposes. I need to win the game before my opponent gets to 4 mana. They have pack backup, etc., etc. What can we draw? We can draw Brainstorm. I mean, we take that. So let's Brainstorm first now because of mana usage. Brainstorm. Snuff Out is abysmal. I mean, Fatal Push is abysmal, right? My opponent's not going to start casting stuff. So let's flip the Tamiyo plus fetch and Brainstorm again, I think is the move. I have some fine draws here. How many of those do I actually have? I think Wasteland is the biggest one, so let's Brainstorm. I do find Wasteland. So now I can hide Murktide Regent, waste my opponent even further from the magic number. The opponent, oh, I forgot about cleanup. Oh my god, this is so funny. Okay, so now how this is going to work is they're going to put a fatty into the graveyard, or, you know, a combo creature. Then I'll play my Murktide, and I'll return Thoughtseize with Tamiyo, which is absolutely hilarious. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Think. Wait a minute. I think I might as well pay one more. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm just Thoughtseizing out of the graveyard. Because I need to hit that Reanimate that I hope that I read correctly. Murktide Growsome, this is well worth noting. So now I'm just a Bowmaster away from lethal over 2 turns. Let's see the Reanimate. Yes, we nailed it. Very, very nice. All right, take the Reanimate. Very, very cool. The opponent had a land, but they chose to not expose it, which is also kind of funny. Can I guess, did I have double packed? I'm not sure. I think this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. Maybe this as well. This as well. Yeah, this is the hand and one unknown. This game was sick. This game was so sick. I had to solve what seemed like an impossible puzzle. The opponent therapies themselves, and that's where dang. So cool. Such a cool game. That's magic. Okay. Oops, all spells. I cannot be too excited here. So I saw pacts. So the opponent is going to be on either Belcher or, you know, keep going out of the yard. So that's good for my sideboard plan because negation and consigns are good against both angles. All right. Terrible. 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 Is this the plan? I hope I can bring in, let's see. Brazen is probably better than a Bowmaster. And now we have a bunch of serviceable cards. What about Harbinger? Will the game ever get into the dirt? Maybe Harbinger is better than a Bowmaster. If the game is really into the dirt, I guess this card is fine. Bowmaster into Kaito is the only thing that speaks for that card. Okay, let's try this out. Dang, the opponent drew the one of Reanimate. That's so crazy. But funnily enough, that enabled me to beat a hand of Infinite Protection. Okay, great hand. So basically what you want to do here is you need to give off the impression that you're considering a close keep, right? So on Magic Online, this is like go make a cup of coffee territory, right? But let's say this is in paper, you need to pull out the best acting lesson because this hand is very, very strong. And you actively want your opponent to go for it. So you need a little bit of pause here. If this is a setup, we set up draw from the opponent, we can start working on the mana base a little bit. Surgical. Trawler is a land. I mean, that is a black source. I'm gonna see if I can find this player's. Wait a minute. So they played out another black source than the one they found. Dark Ritual, that resolves. You got it, buddy. Okay, here's a 7-turn clock. Let's see if we can handle that. That card is a pretty good start. Let's play Land Pass. Yeah, not sure about slamming the Delver on turn 1 here. But maybe the opponent needed the Once Upon a Time to find a combo creature and they figured waiting was just bad. I don't know. Trawler gets in there. Funnily enough, Trawler beats Bowmaster's pretty good against, but I guess we have 2 of those in the side right now. Here's another one. Well, this could be Daze territory, I feel like. Let's do this. If they have another Spirit Guide, it is what it is. They do. Okay. So now the opponent's down to 1 card. I could force here. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, it feels super weird, but I think it's just fine. Let's force her with the 3-1. We can just pretend it's a Baragorth. A friend of mine once told me where in Vintage I had to force a will I believe it was a Thraben Inspector, and I was like, oh, it feels so bad. And he was like, just pretend it's a Trinisphere and move on. And I was like, yeah, that's what I have to do. Yeah, it's a Trinisphere, of course. Force the Trinisphere, play on, and I was in good spirits. Deck 3. Let's see if the opponent can keep going. That's actually kind of funny. Reanimate. So now I'm going to use my Surgical Extraction, which is Absolutely hilarious. So what is more important here? 2 life points or surveilling? Not trivial, actually. 2 life points or surveilling. I am going to prioritize... Let's see. If I go to 12 here, it's 4 hits. If I go to 10 here, it's still 4 hits. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I am going to surveil first. If I have exactly Orcus Bowmasters on top, this resolves. I have Brainstorm. Okay, that card is better than a random card. So now let's go to 10, get rid of that card. Now, am I interested in my opponent drawing more trawlers, which is, again, pretty funny to even have that question be asked. Do I want my opponent to draw more trawlers? I guess by taking these out of the deck, I make my opponent's Dark Ritual and combo creature density higher. Which I'm not sure I like. But they're also just black starting sources. So how many are they down to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I take this, I guess with pedal. Yeah, it's close. I'm going to take them, but I'm not convinced it's correct, to be honest. Pass. So now this is kind of where I should just start bouncing here. The opponent has exactly Oracle in hand. And 1 unknown. So let's petty theft here. And then the plan is to kind of wasteland my opponent into the dirt. Dark Ritual would be annoying here. But I played like this to save 3 life. I could have taken 3 and done it end of turn. Okay. So here's a land. I have to think about this. Ooh, very, very good for me. So let's flip the Tamiyo and wasteland our opponent. This is actually a crazy match. Well. Am I holding up Consign forever? Probably am. So I should play like this. Like that, yes. Plus Wasteland, the one that is not a 3-1, which is kind of funny. Crazy game. Let's see. Did the opponent put together... No, I guess that's not enough. Never mind. So here... I think I am supposed to... Do I like these cards? These cards are... I mean, I just don't think these make a difference, if that makes sense. What if the opponent starts playing out like a 3-1? I think that's okay. Let's shuffle. Let's wasteland. Let's pass. Now next turn, I might play out Murktide and return Force of Will. I think that's like the quote-unquote safe play. All right, the opponent's seen enough. This was pretty sick. Just keep rock. I will. This was very, very sick game 1. And even game 2, the opponent tried to go Delver. I mean, because they had to, right? They felt like passing would be always losing the game, and this would be almost always losing the game. And they did put on a little bit of pressure. Brazen's flexibility bailed me out a little bit. Wasteland buried the opponent. Funnily enough, Surgical kept the aggression at bay. And yeah, there we go. 1-0 starting the challenge. Let's keep it up. Guys, last month I launched my YouTube membership program. You can become a YouTube Baron. For $5 per month, you get Metagame Monday After Dark, where I basically dissect all the numbers from Metagame Monday, turn them into actual solutions for us to win tournaments in the week to come. And then I have this juicy series with Eureka Eyes on the Prize, where we replay the 5 challenge finals every week. So basically, we get to see some championship action week after week. So that's 2 additional videos for the cost of $5 per month. I can highly recommend. But wait, there's more. When I get to 100 members, I will give away this awesome artist proof signed Kappa Cannoneer. Beautiful card, a retro frame hollow. If you want to be in that draw, go become a YouTube Baron. I hope to see you over there. All right, round 2. No lands. I'm playing first, clicking the mulligan button. Never feels great. This is a lot better. So I guess I put back Underground Sea and turn 1 Thoughtseize off Swamp, then Strix. My concern is this player's last finish is a top 8 with lands a week ago, but, you know, we can't really worry too much about that. That's just how it goes. Swamp, Thoughtseize. Let's see. This is indeed lands. So some bad news here. I feel like, oh yeah, these are some very bad news. Okay, so no Sphere Assistance. Start over. No Ancient Tomb to go with that Sphere, to go with that just game plan as a whole. But I think I have to take this card because I have to name Wasteland. Yeah, this is brutality because I probably have to find a Wasteland in time to kill the Saga. And then kind of beat the 2020. Him. Okay. Okay. I mean, casting him here should be pretty good. Because I could hit some key pieces. Let's try it. Him against lands. Not something you do every day. Okay. So I don't exactly hit what I wanted. The opponent can now choose between developing Saga or trying to hold me down here. And it looks like they want to try and hold me down, which I actually don't mind here. So I get wasted. So I think I have time to Baleful Strix now because it has such high potential with finding Kaito in my top 2. Murktide Regent, not bad either. Murktide Regent, can that card beat Saga? Who knows? Murktide. Yeah, this is tough. The opponent goes Urza Saga. So now next turn they can start making tokens. Those tokens are good, but are they better than, let's see, attack for 1 in the air, next turn attack for 6 in the air, 1 plus 6 is 7, then there's 2 more turns after that. I'm okay rolling the dice here on the Merc. What's my alternative? What happens if the opponent plays Dark Depths? Then they're still 2 mana off. So next turn, I should start like pondering for Wasteland, I guess. This is a tough one. Let's see. Crack. Murktide, leave, I guess, a normal land. Tough game, but I have to get it over with. I have to trust the Ponder next turn. Right now, I'm basically hoping that the small-sized constructs on the ground are irrelevant, and that this is a Married Lage game, in which case Wasteland is pretty darn good. And I'll have 5 looks between Draw Step and the Ponder to try and find it. I think if I find it there, I love my spot. Have to be a little bit smart, though. Sphere. Oh, wow. Okay. Sphere Resistance. Now, am I getting hit by a hasty? No, I'm not. Wait a minute. Load mana. Tutor the boots. Let's see. Play land. Mana. Mana. I don't think I'm getting hit by a hasted next turn. Guess we cast this card to see if we just hit the jackpot. We don't hit the jackpot, not even close to it. Let's shuffle these. Another brick. Am I doing the math wrong here? Let's see. Is this hasted float? The opponent has to equip. I guess I'm in big trouble here either way. So now what? Sure. So now Wasteland is off the table. My opponent can't cast any cards, and I, well, get wasted here. So my Brazen Borrower Magic top deck. Okay, this is also a little bit funny. So here's a blocker. Pass. So now I have 2 blockers, which means 2 Murktide hits. I should probably block with the legendary creature, because if I have exactly Tamiyo on top of my deck, this is how I need to play. I don't think there's ever a moment I can attack with Tamiyo. Maze of Ith. Yeah, that probably does it. Okay. Maze of Ith does the job here. That was an insane draw. Okay. Yeah, we drew 3 pushes in garbage time, so not much of a fight there. Cool game. I have a million cards against the deck, but the thing is, they're just mild upgrades. They're not great at all. Bowmasters, absolutely atrocious as well. Snuff Out is bad. Push is bad. Yeah, wow, I have a lot of bad cards. So all of these are fine. All of these are not fine. So now Orcish Bowmasters. I don't really think that's a card I want in big numbers. Do I have any card here that's reasonable? I guess since my opponent's Sphere Resistance stays is slightly better than normal. Yeah, this looks fine. Rough matchup. Among other reasons, the fact that I can just draw removal spells and don't do anything. Huh. I think this hand is a keep. All it takes is a land to get going. I have decent tools to stay alive, but it's rough, right? Urza Saga, major problem. Lots of there are other stuff I'm decent against. Super tough. And here it is. Unfortunately, it comes with Ancient Tomb when your opponent plays it out turn 1 here. This is a way to go and get a land later. I should probably counter this. Really don't like it, but let's counter it with Brazen Borrower. Let's see if we can do anything. Land here is a good start. Problem is, I'm expecting my opponent to have Ancient Tomb in their Sphere Resistance deck playing out Saga turn 1. That's what makes this complicated. Mox Diamond. I mean, I'm going to try and counter this. So let's crack the clue first to learn about whether I find a worse blue card, so to speak. If my opponent has an Ancient Tomb, they totally outplayed me and the game's over. My chance is this. Okay, very nice. Well played by the opponent. They knew that there's a chance I have to counter that card because I might be weak to the tokens, so well played, well played. Brainstorm is not bad. Let's see if we have anything left in the tank here. Let's brainstorm. Harbinger. Huh. Harbinger. So how do I get past this exact turn? I feel like I'm getting needled. on the flip Tameo. Is that acceptable? What if my opponent goes construct, construct? That's 2/2/2s. I counter the search. Yeah, that's probably how I'm supposed to play, right? So now put back, I guess, the Harbinger. Then I'm playing mono blue. I have Harbinger on top in case, you know, I need to find a new plan. So the opponent makes more tokens. I am going to consign that one. The opponent has a couple of creatures in play. Let's see if they continue to play the game here. If I get wasted here, it's annoying. Then I probably have to fetch away the Harbinger. Huh. So, wait a minute. The next card down is a land. So I have Land Harbinger. Okay, that's probably better than random cards. Let's try and play this out. So I go plus, pass. I leave my next draw as Underground Sea. Right now it's a stat quo with Tameo and the 1-powered creatures, which I can't complain about, right? This turn is very important. What can the opponent do here? Wasteland Pass is funny because it doesn't work against my plan. I guess let's use this before weird things happen. The problem with this situation is I am losing to more or less any artifact. Because of the size. Okay. Waste and response. That's probably fine for me. The opponent now cannot attack. So I need to fade one more turn. This is a crazy game. I thought I had no chance after the beginning of this game. Well, let's crack a clue and see what's up. Haze, funnily enough, could be playable. All right, it's time for the opponent to draw an artifact, or I'll be drawing my deck, I believe. 3 mana. And I guess they have to... Nope. Okay. So now they're going to let me draw 21 cards. Sure. Let's see if I found the swamp. That would make things a lot easier. If I didn't, I'm probably playing Mono Blue Murktide. Let's just double check. So, Murktide Regent, I guess... How many forces do I have here? I have Force of Will, so I might as well cast Ponder. These are... Oh, there's the swamp. Okay, so I'm actually going to keep the swamp. That's funny. Murktide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in theory, there could be Otawara in my opponent's deck, so that's why we are still playing, probably. I want the swamp, which is pretty good. Oof, crazy. I won this game because of... What did I do here? I Force a Willed and I Force a Negated and I Consigned while getting, you know, wasted, Saga'd, and then we got lucky. Okay, well, I guess we also played well, but we got lucky on top of that, of course. I mean, looking at this, all these cards are bad against my opponent, so yeah, pretty easy resubmit here. I have to get quite lucky to beat lands. Ugh. This is another one of those where I'm weak to Urza's Saga. Can't. And there's no way I can hold up Consign turn 1 against this sphere. So this starts with pondering for lands. I think this is a mulligan. Let's show this back. This is a better hand. Let's get rid of a Brazen Borrower. Hope this daze is good. Let's see how fast the opponent is out of the gate. Okay, that's not being fast out of the gate. It is handling Tameo quite nicely, though. Orcish Bowmasters. Well, I think I have to play Sea Thoughtseize here because of daze. And because my opponent is a sphere resistance deck. Drop of Honey, that's a cool one. So the opponent can get life from the loam going here. I don't love that. I can't take it either. I think I have to take the sphere. Wow, the opponent has so much stuff here. This is going to be a rough one. Take the sphere. The opponent will then cast loam. I'll daze the loam and wasteland the green source. Yeah, that's the game plan here. Another one of these puzzle games where I'm in such a bad spot. But I think I have to... Oh my god, that's awesome for the opponent. Yeah, unfortunately that kind of beats what I have going on here, because my whole plan was to get rid of the green source, right? But the opponent's playing very well here. They drew a better card to get wastelanded, essentially, because now I'm just turning on the loam. So with all of that being said, I think I just have to wasteland this and probably hope to find a new wasteland off of the brainstorm. Dang, that's terrible. So what happens if I let this happen? My opponent will probably start making tokens. My opponent will probably start making tokens. Is this another Harbinger moment where I need to find my one of Harbinger? What happens if I wasteland the Saga here? Then the opponent goes Yavimaya, cast Loam. I daze that. Then the opponent has Yavimaya and Caracas in play. I have brainstormed Yavimaya and Caracas. They dredge Loam, they recast it. So that's where my brainstorm needs to find me either Forcing Negation or Surgical. Yeah. This is too tough. This is too tough. Magic the Gathering is too hard of a game, especially in this terrible matchup. But I guess that's what you came to see. Is there any world this brainstorm changes my move? Let's say I draw... Yeah, I don't even know, because they have Caracas for the Tameo. I feel like this is a losing play, but I think I need this brainstorm to be really good. So I should probably just respond. Yeah. I should respond to this loam. These cards are terrible. because my opponent's going to loam again next turn. So I'm going to go Daze the Loam, play land, play Tameo. They're going to dredge, have a better loam. So what do I do here? I put back the swamp, maybe? Yeah, this is... Oh, I forgot to daze it now. Was that... Maybe that was fine, but it was an accident. That's funny. Okay. That was not good. But maybe it ends up being fine, which is hilarious. Do I go Tameo here? Or do I play towards drawing exactly Kaito? I could draw Kaito. I can draw Harbinger. What else? Those are probably my best draws. I'm gonna... Okay, so we fat-fingered through the days, but maybe that's okay, because the opponent's just going to dredge here and do it all over again. So maybe this was the right play, and I just didn't realize it until I accidentally made it. Okay. So the opponent did not dredge here, which is interesting. So let me go ahead and do this fetch. Cast Orcish Bowmasters. Kaito? Force a Will. So what is the opponent holding up here? Let's try and play land, attack. The opponent has 5 cards. And they obviously did not have an endurance. They would have jammed it probably. If I just play Tameo, it'll just get bounced, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. Ah, Magic the Gathering. I'm trying to set up a situation where I beat some super slow draw from the opponent. They don't dredge, they natural draw. And now they're allowed to make tokens. Tokens are small though. Ghost Quarter. Tokens are small though. Let me go. I feel like I should surveil here, so I could go swamp, but I think it's better to look 2 cards deep. It's funny that my opponent, if I keep a card on top, my opponent might Ghost Quarter me. But I don't think I can leverage, like, I can't rely on that, basically. Let's see if this is time to, yeah. It's time to bounce the Tameo. That is all right. Let's see what I can draw. Land. That is not a Kaito, unfortunately. Also, the opponent has a Maze of Ith in hand, which is probably going to be tough to beat. Bowmaster's getting in there for peck damage. Let's go land. Ooh, did I misplay here? Was I supposed to daze my own spell and play Sewers out? Not sure. The opponent starts, unfortunately, making creatures bigger than mine. Here's the dredge. Here's the next token. Sure. Yep, you got it. So now I wonder what my opponent goes for. They go for Mox Diamond. They go for Maze of Ith. So now Loam. I think this is where I cast Daze. Let's bring back the Surveillant. I feel like this is a decent... Yeah, so now they give me a Tameo attack, which is solid payoff, I guess. Attack with the 3/3. So now if I want to, I can get rid of this one. Oh. Okay, I need to play better. Because if I bounce that token and block, I don't take damage. What is smartest here? I feel like I should bounce that construct. And yeah, so I took 3 damage for no reason. That's really bad. Cannot recommend it. Kaito? So I guess I should activate Tameo here because if I find Ponder, I can flip it and that would be great. So let's do... The thing is, if I clue into Murktide Regent and slam it, I look like a champ. But maybe it's better to dig harder for Blue Card or Brainstorm. Play Sewers first. Yeah, tough call. Sewers first. Here's Consign to Memory. That completes the force, but is that exciting? So that could force a drop of honey. Let's see. At the beginning of your upkeep, please power. I'm going to try and get that out of here. Let's see what we can find. Negation. Probably not that bad. I negate the loam. Maybe there's a game here. But I need to draw Kaito or what's his name in a minute. I think that card should go away. I think that card is too troublesome here. Here's the Saga. The opponent is racing me here. I don't like that. That card sent back. Yeah, this is very bad. Play Tameo. Attack for 1 because of the maze, and then I'm kind of getting outgrinded. Okay, we gave it a good try here. I made a lot of bad plays and drew poorly, right? You should never win if that's the combination you're presenting to the table. But yeah, we need to draw Kaito or Harbinger in this kind of off time here. Now, okay, let's see. So the opponent can make a token and get rid of Tameo for good here. Do I want my opponent to do that? Or do I think this getting Brainstorm back is part of the way I win the game? Okay. Let's take it. I also could have had 3 more life points here if I bounce that token and block the 2/2 a few turns ago. Yeah, Magic continues to be a hard sport. Pretty sure I nail some of these if I'm not recording, for whatever that's worth. Here's Wasteland. Play Brazen Borrower. And now I think it's time to draw the Brainstorm. Ponder. Is Ponder worth developing a Tameo? So what's good about developing Tameo here? If I flip the Tameo, I'm buying time against the Saga stuff. But I have one less mana to work with. Let's say I go like Ponder, Brainstorm, Harbinger or something. I guess that's quite bad against, so that doesn't really count. But like Cantrip, Cantrip, Kaito then. Cantrip, Cantrip, Kaito. Yeah, I think that's more important. Let's see. Ponder the play. 3 more life points here would have been insane. Baleful Strix into Murktide Regent. That will stop the stuff going on here, but how do I turn the corner? I think that's what I need to ask. Maybe that's just Murktide Regent with a Wasteland. Maybe that is just Murktide Regent with a Wasteland. Or the maze of it, that is. Okay, so let's see. I don't even think this works, because I can't Baleful Strix into the Murktide. Because I would have to fetch, right? Okay, so I just take the Murktide and hope to draw a Wasteland. That sounds so bad. Okay, let's try this. Fetch. Because of Ghost Quarter, I'm funnily enough going for duels here. Fetch. Maybe this is supposed to be a swamp. Not sure. We can wait on that. Tameo. Baleful Strix. Flip the Tameo. Draw. Bad draw. I guess attack with the Brazen. Because there's a Yevimaya in play. I'm actually stealing a mana from my opponent here. So now I have a Death Toucher. But my opponent is tutoring a Needle. I'm going to let them name the Bloodstained here. I think that's fine. Okay. I don't think I came prepared enough for this one. Both deck building wise and just how I played. That's just the fact of the matter. It looks like Chumblock territory, which I really don't like. If I had more life points, I would take the damage here. Also, I don't play explosives. I play Murktide Regent, which can kind of stop something. Blast Zone. Okay, that's potentially annoying. Let's see. Assign to memory. Yeah, this is not going to end well. I'm going to extend the hand here. GG's to my opponent. This was a cool match. I'm sure you guys have lots of points where I could have played better, so I'm going to be looking forward to the comment section on this one. All right, let's see if we can keep staying in the event. All right, round 3, backs against the wall. One more loss and we are eliminated from the challenge. I did not have a good time against Lance. Well, I did have a good time, but I have a hard time, let me put it that way. Tough matchup. Didn't draw too well. Didn't play too well. Not good. The opponents played very well, though. So just good deck choice and good execution. All right. We've seen this hand before. Now, how do I play it? I'm leaning towards turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Tameo, possibly Brainstorm. And I think that gives me enough for turn 3 Murktide if I find an untapped land. 1, 2, 3. I guess I need an untapped. I need a fetch land, sorry. Then I can turn 3 Murk with a flip Tameo. Kind of the philosophy of just presenting stuff the opponent has to deal with. And just, I mean, starting the game by taking the opponent's best card and hopefully building a game plan is going to work out nicely. I'm a little bit unsure about the Tamiyo. Against some decks, it's insane when it's flipped. Against some decks, it's not insane. So I guess we wait and see with the contents of my opponent's hand. Let's see. Turn 1 C, cast Thoughtseize, turn 2 Tamiyo, hold up the fetch, or cast a Brainstorm straight away based on what we're expecting. If I see something like double removal or whatever, I'm going to try and counter the first removal spell with a Brainstorm. At that point, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in the graveyard. Then any land, untapped land, I guess, we'll cast a Merc. Yeah, this should be decent. All right, opponent is back. They keep 7, and we're off to the races here. Let's see. Okay, we're playing against the Allurin deck. Okay. So the thing is, Allurin is only a payoff card with, let me see, how much? 5 cards in the deck? So I think I have enough time. I think the way to lose this game is the opponent doing something with backup, so I'm actually going to take the Force of Will here. So against a hand like this, I'm pretty interested in flipping the Tamiyo right away. Let's see how the opponent can recover. Snuff Out is probably very bad, especially because that creature that they're comboing with is a black creature. So, oh, I was about to cast a Brainstorm. That's crazy. All right, Tamiyo, Brainstorm. And then I have a Thoughtseize coming next turn, which is pretty cool. Okay. I also have a Hymn coming next turn, it looks like. I don't have an untapped land, so I can't do both, which is, you know, unfortunate. The opponent will probably Surveil land here. They don't like the card. Blue to Delta Pass. Force of Will is also gone. Well, I think a good turn here would be Hymn, Wasteland, return the Hymn. Now, how scared am I of getting Veiled? How scared am I of getting Veiled? Let's try and Wasteland here and see what happens. No green float here. Guess Hymn to Torok is good here because I don't think the opponent can cast an action card next turn, and if I'm going to do it back to back, it's, you know, pretty powerful. Let's try the Hymn. Don't veil me, bro. Okay, I don't get veiled. Maybe I can just get back the Hymn next turn. Yeah, let's try and plus the Tamiyo. There's a chance, like, let's say my opponent just bricks on land that I keep plussing. I don't think... Okay, they have a second. I was about to say I don't think they have a second one. Okay, okay. They mill over an Allurin. They did have land. Let's see if they drew anything for turn or they just don't have a play. Play out the pedal. I'm not sure they have a play. I think they're just playing out stuff because they want, after getting hymned, they want to, you know, be able to draw land, slam the Allurin. So my opponent's hand is currently Omniscience, Allurin, 1 unknown. How do I win this game? Do I win this game by my opponent bricking 1 more turn? I don't think so. I think I win this game by leaving my opponent in the dirt. So let's try and return the Hymn to Torok. Laying out the pedal. Yeah, let's see if that means what I thought it meant. It did. So now they're left with Allurin and can cast it if they rip a mana source. So at least we got that right. Brainstorm. Is that what this game is about? My opponent will slam Allurin, and then what? Then this is my... I guess this is also my way to dig for Force of Will in that case. Yeah, sure. Okay. So if they break on land here, for some reason they thin their deck. Did they find a land? Nope, they found Brainstorm. So the opponent knows they could get him to Torak again. So I don't think that's what I'm going to go for. Now we enter the point of the game where it's a little bit of a, what do you call that word? Like a staring contest, right? Let's see how the opponent plays out. They allow themselves to get him. What should I make of that? Is this just me getting veiled? I feel like this is me getting veiled with the way the opponent kept 2 cards. What if I brainstorm first and learn a little more? Days. Bowmasters. Pretty good cards. Days. That card could be insane here. Let's see. The play here could be put back, Murktide Snuff Out, Thoughtseize my opponent, Bowmaster Kaito. Okay. You see those cards. So the thing is, the Formidable Speaker. Yeah, I should probably take that because Learn is something I can daze, right? So unless my opponent has exactly Soul Land. Okay. This game's pretty cool. I've had insane games here against the combo decks. The land's just a little bit more uphill. So I guess let's slam Orcish Bowmasters here and punish my opponent a little bit. My opponent's hand is Allurin, nothing else. I'm rooting for my opponent to find Ancient Tomb and slam it. Interesting. I mean, I'll take it. And now I have a 3/3. What do they do with this card? I need to know. They shuffled. Okay, so I'm in a great position. I have to think about damage. That card is insane. Wow. What am I returning here? Take 6. Next turn, take 7. I should probably just return the token and be fine with that. Take 4. Hopefully this finds me the blue card. It does. Hang on to that. Pass the turn. Next turn, I can consider plussing and attacking for 5/5. Crazy game. So, Allurin, I'm going to force pitch Tameo. I'm actually going to play around my opponent's last card being Veil of Summer. Oh my god. What a crazy run out here. So, daze that card. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. All right, game 1, high octane action here. You love to see it. Allurin. The thing is, I don't have a million cards against Allurin or the Omniscience Allurin deck. Bad card. Bad card. Good card. Solid card. And I guess like this. So now I'm registering 1 Baragoyf. I think that is abysmal, actually. Can I do better? The thing is that Lich, or whatever it is, if I push that on the stack, I actually think I brick my opponent's combo turn. But maybe Surgical is better. Yeah, Surgical is better. All of these other cards are fine. So 1 Surgical. I don't think it's insane if somebody wants to cut a land in this matchup. Which land would that be? I'm going to leave it here. I think it's fine. Surgical. Yeah, surgical can randomly be good against that deck, but it's not consistently good. I'm good registering 1 copy. So now I'm going to be fighting Carpet of Flowers as well. So it's more likely we get into a match where my Thoughtseizes, my Hymns, my Forces are good rather than, you know, Day's Wasteland. But let's see. Let's see if that's true. Oh yeah, we've had some great games today. I really like how I piloted, especially against Oops and against that deck. Lands, not so much. 5 lands, questionable disruption. Yeah, unfortunately, we have to send this back. And this is a lot better. So I think I should put back Wasteland here. Use Consign as my force pitch. And try and grind with Tamiyo. Okay. So this screams Veil to me, so I'm actually going to be a little bit more, I guess, passive with my Thoughtseize, see if I can find a better spot. Opponent cycles Veil end of turn. We love that. Ooh, that's not good, opponent. That is not good. Great draw. Wow. So I should probably just try and flip this Tamiyo, but before that, I should cast Thoughtseize. If there's a second Veil, I have to force it. That's, you know, that's the rule. What if I get forced on the Brainstorm? Do I like that? There's probably a second Veil with the way my opponent played here. If they force a will, a Brainstorm. The thing about it is, my hand wants to play Brainstorm first because of the shuffle afterwards. That's what my hand wants to do. What's the old quote? My mind is saying no, but my body's saying let's go. Thoughtseize first, get Veiled, force back, pick a card, flip Tamiyo. Next turn, I can Thoughtseize again or force again, depending on the situation. What's the other move? I think Strix Pass is never going to happen. I feel like the opponent could just be in the dirt this game, so it's very important. But am I ever going to take a force with Thoughtseize? That's the other thing. I'm probably not. Okay. That's the tiebreaker. I'm not going to take a force with this card. If I get forced here, it's whatever. Okay. I think this is fine. This is exactly how I mean, I want to cast 1 mana Hymn to Thorax all day, right? Let's Thoughtseize, force the Veil, which is annoying, but has to be done. Ooh, no need. More Force of Will. That's funny. Okay, so let's understand what's going on here. The opponent will start resolving big cards. If they draw a land and slam the defense grid, I'm super sad. So I have to take the defense grid. Because if my opponent does not draw land, I love my spot, right? That should be the logic. On the other hand, if there's 1 turn my opponent does not draw land, and then I get to consign that card, I'm loving life even more. Okay, I guess that convinced me, that last piece of logic, to reconsider. There's also just the fact that Wasteland crushes my opponent at any stage of this game. So if my opponent draws a land, slams defense grid, I'm going to force, the opponent's going to force. In the meantime, I'm drawing from clues. Yeah. Okay, let's leave the defense grid and think about how this plays out. Is it the Ponder? Because the Ponder is bridges to the 3 drops better. I just have to put the game away in the meantime. That's the main challenge here. Take the Ponder. The opponent will force through the defense grid. And then I'm kind of playing with discard spells and Wasteland from there. There's also... Okay, let's take the Ponder. I think that buys the most time. I get a little bit punished if my opponent draws the land instantly. But if they don't, I really love my spot. Okay, now I don't love my spot. So I think we just exchange forces here. No, we don't. Huh. Interesting. This card is gone. The opponent has those 3. Bowmasters or Strix? Bowmasters punishes Ponder Brainstorm. Strix digs deeper. I'm gonna go for Strix here. I think it's very close. Strix into what? Strix into Wasteland, like an absolute G. Pass. Insane draw. The opponent bricks. I think this is where I upkeep Bowmasters because I want my opponent to make a decision on the Force Will before seeing their draw step. They're not going to force it. Okay. So they basically believe that, oh, they veil. So now... Okay, that's a solid... just cantrip, try and find land, I guess. Let's see. Pedal pass probably, right? Yeah. Is this more clock? Yeah, I think it's more clock. Let's Bowmasters. The thing is, my opponent has force backup. That's why digging for a disruption is less valuable here. So I could easily lose to my opponent having already pay off for the show and tell and just need to draw land. So I need to be as fast as I can. Okay. Because my opponent has force, I think I'm supposed to crack clue because Wasteland cannot be forced, right? The opponent's at 8. Let's crack clue and see if I'm the luckiest player in the world. I am not. Then let's play Surveil. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is probably pretty good because it takes the force so well. Yeah, let's do that. So what I surveil there cannot help me get through this turn. Ooh. Yeah, that card is insane. Okay, I didn't think about that card, but I guess that's where the Force of Will comes into play. Show and tell. And now I should be dead. Yeah, that's Omniscience. Okay. So my opponent needs the worst stock up of all time here. Wow, that was a cool game. I think the key decision was that Thoughtseize. Like if I take the defense grid, I have the force for later. I can play a little bit differently, but they found the land when they needed to and got there. That was cool. Yep. I see. Okay. A cool match played out there. I still like my setup. I think I just have to draw a little bit better when my opponent is down. All right, that was fun. Huh. This looks like a playable hand, but not great. I will, because I might need to turn 2 Brainstorm, I'll fetch an Underground Sea here instead of going Swamp. Let's Thoughtseize and see what's going on over here. Okay, so the opponent has good mana. Maybe I should just take the stock up. I think that's okay. This is a card I have to deal with eventually. Stock up is gone. Show and Tell is now game ending. And I have some work to do. That work could involve casting turn 2 Brainstorm, turn 3 Murktide. But let's see about that. I don't like the pause from my opponent. I don't want my opponent to have a draw step that gives them big moves on turn 1. Let's go ahead and cast Brainstorm. Oh boy. Oh boy, these are abysmal. So put back 2 lands, cast Ponder, I guess. Absolutely abysmal cards. Thoughtseize him, those kind of cards. Yeah, these are not good either. The Brainstorm will see some bad ones, and I think it's better to just shuffle right away. Orcish Bowmasters. My turn could now be Wasteland and Bowman. Yes, Wasteland Bowman. Opponent puts away land. Yeah, this is not how I win. Let's Wasteland this one. Let's Bowmaster on the upkeep. The opponent goes for another one here. Because they do play 2. That's pretty cool. So now I should cast Bowmasters. I mean, the opponent could have Brainstorm in hand, right? Or untap and Veil and what have you. So let's see. They kept the card this time. Petal. Show and Tell is game over. All right. That was a sweet run. Not much to do. So what am I supposed to do here? Put a 3/3 into play, attack with everybody. I mean, there's some kind of chance, but I think I'm supposed to put land into play. Because if I put the 3/3 into play, I don't have a blue card for Force of Will. So the opponent will put a lot of cards in the hand. Let's see what they can go for. I'll just note them over here. Petal, Stock, Veil, Tomb. Sure. Petal, Stock, Veil, Tomb. All right. So now, let's see what I can find. Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix. Eventually, that card is going to be good. But I feel like the Kaito can kind of ride. Let's see. Kaito. Ooh, no. Oh, sheesh. The opponent can Veil. Oh, dang. Okay, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm getting veiled on the Kaito here. That is cool. I did not think of that. So now the opponent has Force of Will and Veil. Ooh, that is awesome. Yeah, Yeah, I'm losing this game. I actually thought I had a chance, but I don't. Here's Brainstorm. Guess these are not good. So let's Kaito. Get in for 3. Try and stun the Atraxa. And say GG's. Good games, great match. Yeah, this was a beating. I like how I played. These games were awesome. Sometimes you get cooked, and sometimes you win close matches. And today, I got cooked, but I'm very, very thankful for you guys following along. I hope to see you back soon. I'll be playing more Legacy on the channel and traveling to 4Seasons and hopefully do slightly better than I did today. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you back soon for some more sweet, sweet Legacy action.